The enchanted island of Bali is the first stop in our journey across Southeast Asia that will carry on to Java and Vietnam, Thailand, Chiang Mai, Bangkok. Come along on the ride on World Traveler. Stay tuned for World Traveler. We're going to take you to Southeast Asia. We're in Thailand now. We'll be visiting Indonesia. We're going to Saigon, Vietnam, and Singapore. And you'll be seeing all kinds of exotic sights with us here on World Traveler. A python. Say hello to the folks in Hawaii. We begin our Southeast Asian adventure in one of the most fabled islands in the world, the island of Bali. Gracefully terraced with rice paddies that stretch from the tip of the mountains to the far oceans. In this brief look at Bali, we're going to get away from the main cities and away from the big luxury hotels and out into the countryside and present you with some of the natural beauty in all of its grandeur and some of the local rituals and dance and special festivals. Rice cultivation is one of the most important activities on the island, for it's the staple crop, and everybody gets involved in gathering the rice. The whole village will get together. Things are done in a more old-fashioned way here in Bali. The graceful balancing on the head is reflected in the beauties of the dance. It's a magical island abounding in religious ritual. In this case, an entire village has gotten together and marched to the sea in this cremation ceremonial parade to commemorate the deaths of several members of the community. Offerings are carried on the heads and brought to the ocean to put the departed souls at rest. Similar parades, large and small, happen regularly all over the island, as do performances of the special dance. It's a religious expression of the culture, for they're acting out scenes from the Mahabharata, the holy epic of the Hindu religion. Bali is the only part of Indonesia which is still Hindu. The Ramayana is an extremely complex tale of heroes and villains, but basically they're acting out the eternal battle of good versus evil. You'll find some of the most beautiful rice terraces in the eastern part of Bali, where we are today. We've hired a driver to take us far away from the hotel complex and far away from the city of Denpasar to go out to the rural countryside and enjoy some of the most beautiful scenic splendor that you can find anywhere on the planet. Not only beautiful, but functional, for this is the irrigated rice paddies that provide the food that keeps the island going. Bali is generally self-sufficient in food, and like most of Asia, Bali relies upon rice to provide the majority of its nutrition. And what a magical crop it is. With the proper forms of terraces and the permanent irrigation, it's possible to grow one crop after another without ever hardly giving the fields a break, for the nutrients are constantly flowing through the system. And we're flowing along through the roads of Bali. The roads are not too bad here. You can drive in a car or a motorcycle and see quite a bit of the island in a single day, as we're doing now. Bali marks the beginning of our tour of Southeast Asia. We traveled with the Hawaii Geographic Society for several weeks through Indonesia. We'll be visiting Yogyakarta and up into Thailand and on into Vietnam and Malaysia and Singapore. And we'll be bringing you many of the highlights of that tour in the next several shows. And then later in the season, we'll have more complete exposition of this wonderful tour that we've enjoyed, our first tour to Asia with Hawaii Geographic Society. In Bali, we're staying at the super deluxe Melia Nusa Dua Hotel. It's part of the complex of luxury hotels in the Nusa Dua area, which is the most favorable place to stay when you're in Bali. There's other beach areas. There's Kuta Beach, which is a very popular one, especially for the surfers. But for a relaxed and splendid tropical vacation, you might enjoy any of the hotels in the Nusa Dua area. The Melia is one of the most luxurious. It's been there for about 7 years. It's also very modern and highly up to date. They have an ecologically friendly approach to tourism here, a beautiful open-air lobby and open-air dining rooms. The rooms are air-conditioned because it does get pretty warm in Bali and, in fact, throughout Southeast Asia. It gets quite warm. We're traveling during the month of October, which has relatively nice weather just between the rainy season and the hot season. The morning air is fresh and fragrant, and these garden surroundings provide a beautiful atmosphere for working up a terrific appetite first thing in the morning. There's a little duck pond, there's outdoor tables, or there's an indoor air-conditioned dining room, and an incredible array of buffet foods here at the morning breakfast spread. You can have eggs, you can have breads, you can have fruits, you can have a complete Oriental breakfast, anything you want here at the Melia, as our tour leader Antonio will show us. And so what have we got here?
We have some shuk and all the accoutrements, some beans there, a nice spicy chicken.
Delicious. I had some myself. And this is only breakfast.
Yes, and of course you have around here we have Spanish churros and torrijas.
That's different.
And Spanish omelette. This is the Spanish touch of the hotel.
We generally stay at this quality hotel throughout our tour, and we found that nearly every day there was a similar kind of extravagant breakfast buffet. You can certainly eat enough here that gets you through most of the day, and then perhaps just have a light lunch, particularly when you're on the go the way we are on our tours generally, and then save some more of your appetite for a lovely dinner. After all, eating is one of the great activities when you're traveling, particularly when you're traveling in a foreign and exotic locale like Bali. We're traveling with a small group from Hawaii. It was about 15 people, and we're about to enjoy a nice full day's tour activities.
You're gonna be doing some shopping today, but please don't stay more than 15 minutes. Yeah? In each stop, because there are gonna be several. Okay? So have some control. Self-control. Yeah?
Well, in German, selamat pagi. Good morning, everybody. Aloha. Because today that we have so many different things to see, so many interesting places. So that's why, you know, our program today, what we call Kintamani Volcano Tour. This is one of the most recommendable trips on the island. So today we're going to see one of the temples at the village called Sabatu. So that's something look different in this temple. I mean, they're rather unique in this temple. So inside of the temple, we have a natural spring. And this spring is considered as the holy spring by the people here in Bali, especially those people who are living nearby the village. At the village of Ubud, so we're going to stop at one of the places where you can see, you know, the like the center of the painting. We're going to stop at one of the places. You're going to see the demonstration, so how the local artists, they make a painting, you know. In this place you can see many different kind of painting. So there's about 4 different kind of painting. One is like a traditional painting, the classical painting, modern painting, and the other one is naive style, that's what we call young artist style. So we're going to have a very nice drive, you know, to see more like a countryside with a very beautiful view of the rice field.
These incredible terraces were built over many hundreds, probably thousands of years. They didn't just spring up overnight or over a generation. It was a lot of work, and now it's paying off for the society. Also paying off is tourism. Every place the tour buses stop, you'll find the village salesmen out with their wares. It's all part of the local culture. And we bought into it. Jeannie and Angel with a little flute concerto for us. We're going to show you much more of Bali later in the season on World Traveler, but for now we're flying to Yogyakarta, and along the way let's talk to some of our fellow travelers and get their reactions.
How did you like Bali?
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Beautiful rice field, friendly people.
How was Bali? You like Bali?
Bali? Yeah, I love Bali. It was very nice. People very friendly. The hotel was very nice. Beautiful place, you know, beautiful place.
Oh, I enjoyed it very much. It's nice and peaceful where we stayed at the hotel. The people were very nice and courteous.
Wow, shopping was something different this one. A lot of fun, bargain. Yeah. Negotiating. That was something different, huh?
I love Bali.
We're landing now in Yogyakarta because it has one of the most incredible religious temples in the world. It has an interesting downtown as well, very old-fashioned. But it's particularly famous because of the massive temple of Borobudur, which is like a man-made mountain rivaling the pyramids of Egypt.
432 Buddha statues inside of the niches in the rectangular terraces, and 72 Buddha statues inside of the trellis stupa. Yes, you will see trellis stupa. I will show you the expression of the story which is expressed by the reliefs. Okay, so then it is signifying Bodhisattva in the Tusita heaven. Yes, and you see also the angels expression like that one. Both of them are the prospective parents of Siddhartha Gautama, that is the King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. They are, he is the king of Kapilavastu's kingdom.
These thousands of intricate carvings and the symbolic levels of the temple form a vast teaching instrument to bring to us the wisdom of the Buddha, who taught that life is suffering brought on by ignorant craving. And there is relief from this suffering by following the noble eightfold path of good living. And it's all brought to you here in beautiful form and massive configuration in the temple of Borobudur. Borobudur is the world's largest Buddhist temple. There's also a very impressive Hindu temple nearby that we'll show you in a later episode of World Traveler. But for now, we're driving back into the town of Yogyakarta past some of the stonemason shops where you can buy elegantly carved reproductions from the temple of Borobudur, and throwing ourselves into the middle of this fascinating city of Yogyakarta. Population, several million. It's a big city, but it doesn't act like one. It acts more like a sleepy little village. Even here on the main street, the busy commercial thoroughfare that runs right through the heart of Yogyakarta. We're on an early morning walk, watching the city come to life as people begin their day and head to work. It's not exactly rush hour. People have the time to slow down and smile and be friendly to each other. Relax. It's a little too hot here to hurry anyway. But people work hard no matter what time of the day. It's all muscle power. For the modern American, it seems like we've stepped back in time to another century when things were done on a much simpler level. Here's breakfast in the streets. A little pushcart peddler has got all sorts of delicious and tempting foods to offer. And the neighbors are all gathering out on the sidewalk to enjoy a very inexpensive morning meal. And very tasty in the Indonesian style. It can get hot and spicy, even on the sidewalks here in Yogyakarta. And you'll find the people are quite friendly.
Where do you come from?
America.
America. Wah, America.
America, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
You know Hawaii? Honolulu?
Honolulu.
Honolulu, Waikiki.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. When you watch how hard these people work and how poor they are in Western terms and how difficult their lives probably are, you gain a more comfortable appreciation of your own life and how happy we are and lucky we are to be living in a modern society like America where we don't have to work quite this hard. But of course they can be just as happy as us even if they have to pack the whole family on a motor scooter or pedal a taxi with their feet. What, do you work here?
Beca.
What's that?
Driver for Beca.
Driver for one of these here?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Maybe later if you want with me.
Yeah, maybe right now. Are you working now? No.
Now also.
So he wakes up his friend who's sleeping in the cyclo and boots him out of there to make room for me, a paying customer. And away we go on a little bicycle tour of Yogyakarta. It's very nice to slow down and see it from the local level like this, where things are not whizzing by at 35 miles an hour. And you're not insulated inside some kind of air-conditioned tour bus. You could even take a horse and carriage ride, and these are not for the tourists. This is how the local people actually get around. And then we saw a local market. This is where the farmers are bringing their goods in from miles around to a central market distribution point. And from here, the vegetables and produce go out to the various markets in the city. Even though it's a heavy burden for these ladies, they're all eager to queue up and get their turn so they too can work. They're paid, of course, on a piecemeal basis, so they're eager to get their share. My cyclo driver was telling me a bit about his life. He lives in the countryside and pedals a regular bicycle for 2 hours every morning with his wife as passenger to get into town to work, where he pedals all day as a taxi driver. And then in the evening, he pedals for 2 hours with his wife as passenger to get back home in the countryside. As he delivers me to my luxury hotel, which I almost feel guilty entering, but it's so nice to step into this air-conditioned marble lobby in a brand new hotel, the Melia Yogyakarta, only open for several months, and beautiful. Our tour group from Hawaii is enjoying another one of those extravagant buffet breakfasts. You're watching our tour of Southeast Asia, and we're just now going off on a day tour that's going to show us some more of the arts and crafts of this area here in central Java, just outside Yogyakarta. We're going to a performance of the shadow puppets, and we'll see a demonstration of how they're made and how they perform. Shadow puppets are an ancient tradition here in Java, accompanied by the gamelan orchestra. They go back many centuries before the days when there was movies, before television. And rather than acting out these stories of religious epics with human actors, it became a tradition to perform the ritual with these handheld puppets. The village would gather around as the traveling puppet master came to town, and the performance could go on for days and days. These long, intricate tales. We also got a chance to see them making the puppets. The finest are handmade from the hides of the water buffalo and hand-painted with gold paint. And of course, they're available for sale at a reasonable price in the tourist gift shop.
Which one better? Same one?
Horny guy.
Very horny.
That's Angel the Wild Bull as we're moving along here on our tour and we're leaving Indonesia behind. talk up one more country in Southeast Asia, and we're at the airport ready to transfer across international borders to Thailand.